Hello and welcome. Today's video is about fourth grade math, sequencing whole numbers or putting them in order. Okay, so let's talk about how we put numbers in order from either least to greatest or greatest to least, because we can be asked to do both. For this example, we're going to go from least to greatest. So that's why I have the L and then the 2 and the G. That's least to greatest. So that means we're going to put these numbers in order from smallest to biggest. Okay, so just like when we were comparing whole numbers and we started with the largest place value that the numbers have, we're going to do the same thing when we're putting them in order. We're going to start with the largest place value that they all have, which seems to be the thousands place. So I'm going to go ahead and start underlining what we have in the thousands place for each number. That would be a 7, a 7, and a 7. So those are all the same. So that doesn't help me put them in order, but that's okay. I've already checked those. Then I'm going to look and see what number they have in the next place value. 9, 9, and 2. Or if you prefer to look at it this way, 79, 79, and 72. That's fine as well. But we noticed that the 2 is smaller than the 2 9s. So to me, that means this is the smallest number or the least. So I'm going to put it over here. And then I'm going to go ahead and put a comma after it, because a lot of times when we put these in order, we put them in, separate them with a comma and a space as we're listing them. Okay, so that one has been placed. That is the least. Now let's look at the other two and keep going and looking at their place values. So if we go to the tens place, they both have a 4, so that doesn't help us. But if we go to the ones place, one has a 1 and one has an 8. Well, since 1 is less than 8, that would be the next number in the sequence. So I'm going to go ahead and move that one over here, which means that this one has to be the greatest. I'm going to go ahead and separate those with a comma. So those numbers in order from least to greatest would be 7,243, then 7,941, and then 7,948. Okay, so let's do some more practice. The three numbers we have are 6,535, 6,585, and 6,516, and we want to put those in order from least to greatest. So I'm going to start by putting an L over here and a G over here so that I know that that's the direction I'm going. Least on the left, greatest on the right. So let's compare the largest place value they all have, which is the thousands place. There's a 6 here, a 6 here, and a 6 here. So that's all the same. In the hundreds place, we have a 5, another 5, and another 5. So again, that's all the same. But when we get to the tens place, we have a 3, an 8, and a 1. Okay, so out of those three numbers, 3, 8, and 1, 1 is the smallest. So that number means that this one is our least over here. So I'm going to write 6,516 as our least number. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and cross it off so I know that I've already placed that one. Now going back to look at the tens place, we have an 8 and a 3. Well, 3 is less than 8, so that means that number would go in the middle or come next. 6,535 would go right here. Now I can go ahead and cross that one off, and that leaves me with only one number left, so that has to be the greatest. 6,585. So these are the numbers in order from least to greatest. Okay, here is our next one. We're going to put these numbers in order from greatest to least this time. So that means the greatest one goes over here and the least or the smallest one goes over here. Okay, let's go compare our place values. They all have hundred thousands place, and this one has an 8, an 8, and an 8. Okay, so those are all the same. Now, if we look at the 10,000s place, we have an 8, we have a 3, and another 8. Well, since that 3 is smaller than the two 8s, that would make that my least number. So I'm going to place that number over here, 830,393. So now you know why I put the G and the L first before I start sorting the numbers, so I know where to put them based on the order that they've asked for. So I'm going to go ahead and take that away and then cross off this number. Okay, now let's look at the next place value they all have. which is an 8 in the thousands place, and a 0 in the thousands place. Well, 0 is definitely less than 8, so that means this number goes right here in the middle. 880,399. Okay, and then I can go ahead and cross that one off because I've used that one, leaving us with only one number, which has to be the greatest. So that's going to be 888,399. So these numbers in order from greatest to least would be just like this. Okay, so we're going to put these numbers in order, but this time we're going from least to greatest. So I'm going to put the L for least over here and the G for greatest over here. Okay, let's go start looking through their place values and see what order we find. 6, 6, and 6, all in the 100,000s place, so that's all the same. In the next one, we have 3, 8, and 7. Okay, so those are all different. Since the smallest of those three numbers, 3, 8, and 7 is 3, I know that this number is the least. So I'm going to go ahead and put that over here. 635,624 and cross that off. Okay, now comparing 8 to 7, 7 is smaller than 8. So that number goes right here in the middle. 675,634 will go right there, and I'll cross that off, which leaves me with only one number left. So that's got to be the greatest. 685,524. So there are the numbers in order from least to greatest. Okay, for this next example, I have 4 numbers to put in order from least to greatest. So I'm going to go ahead and remember to reread that, least to greatest. So L and G here. Okay, so we're going to start with the biggest place value they all have. Now, you may have noticed that they don't all have the same amount of place values, do they? Three of the numbers have 5 digits and one number has 6 digits. So I'm going to make it so that they all have 6 digits by putting zeros in front of the 4s on the ones that don't have, or the ones that have 5 digits instead of 6. That will make it easier for me to compare, because now when I go and look, 0, 3, 0, 0. Well, 3 is bigger than 0, 0, and 0. So that means this number has to be the greatest. So I'm going to go ahead and put 367,736 over here. That's our greatest number, and I can cross that out. Okay, so now I'm left to compare the rest. They have a 4, a 4, and a 4 all in the 10,000s place. There's a 6, another 6, and another 6 in the thousands place. So I'm not getting any further yet. Okay, in the hundreds place, I see a 3, and another 3. So these are still pretty close. Okay, let's look at a 5, an 8, and a 5. Okay, so we've got one that's different. This one has an 8, where the other two have 5s in the tens place. So that means this number is our second greatest. So I'm going to go ahead and put 46,386 right here, and then cross that off. Okay, looks like between the last two, we're going to have to get down to the ones place. So there's a 6 here and a 2 here. 6 is greater than 2, so that means this number would be all the way over here, 46,352. And then after I put that there, I can cross it off. And this is the only one left, so it has to go here, 46,356. So there are all my numbers in order from least to greatest. Okay, here's our last example for today's video. We're going to put these numbers in order from least to greatest. So I'm going to go ahead and underline that and put an L here and a G here. Again, we have 4 numbers, and some of them are 6 digits, some of them are 5 digits. So let's make them all 6 digits. I'm going to take the 5-digit ones and put a 0 and a 0 in front. Now they're all 6 digits. So let's go ahead and start with that 100,000s place. 0, 5, 0, 2. Okay, so 2 of those are the same, but 2 of them are different. The 5 is bigger than the 2. So that, which is also bigger than the 0. So out of 0, 5, 0, 0, 5 is the biggest, which means that is the greatest number in the list. So we have 542,917 over here. And I'm going to go ahead and cross that one off. Okay, now what we have left is we have 2 zeros and a 2. Well, since 2 is greater than 0, that's my second greatest number. So I'm going to go ahead and put that one here. 210,838 is going to go right there. Okay, let me go ahead and clear that up and cross that one off because that one is done. Now we're going to go ahead and keep working on these last two numbers to figure out where they go. So we've got an 8 here and an 8 here, so that's the same. A 2 here and a 0 here. Okay, so since 2 is greater than 0, that number is going to go right here. So this would be 82,863 right there. And then after I have that placed and crossed off, the only number I have left is this one, so it has to be the least. So that's going to be 80,868. And that's going to go right there. So these are the numbers in order from least to greatest. Well, thanks so much for joining me today. Hope to see you again soon.